Most of us have done it without thinking. We empty our pockets, spot a few pennies, and either toss them into a jar or leave them behind at the cash register. They're so common that they almost disappear into everyday life. But every once in a while, one of those ordinary-looking coins makes collectors stop and take a second look. Not because every penny is worth a fortune, it isn't, but because some carry details that tell a fascinating story. Today, we're taking a closer look at the 2012 Lincoln Shield cent, a coin that millions of Americans have handled without realizing how much history and collecting interest can be packed into a single cent. And before we're finished, I'll show you one small detail that could completely change the way you look at your own pocket change. Imagine walking into a neighborhood grocery store in 2012. You pay for a few items, and the cashier drops a handful of coins into your palm. Without thinking, you slip them into your pocket. Years later, while cleaning out an old drawer, you notice one of those pennies looks just a little different in the light. That simple moment is exactly how many collecting journeys begin. Not with a rare treasure hunt, but with curiosity. Coin collecting has always rewarded people who pay attention to the smallest details. The story of the 2012 Lincoln Shield cent actually begins long before 2012. Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the 1 cent coin in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. It was a groundbreaking design because it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regularly circulating U.S. coin. Over the decades, the reverse design changed several times, reflecting different chapters of American history. Then, in 2010, the United States Mint introduced the Union Shield design, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the nation during one of its most difficult periods. By 2012, this design had become familiar in circulation, yet many people still didn't know what the shield actually represented. Take a closer look at the reverse. The vertical stripes represent the individual states, while the horizontal banner across the shield symbolizes a united federal government holding them together. It's a simple design at first glance, but it's filled with symbolism. That's one reason collectors appreciate modern coins. Even coins produced in enormous numbers often carry meaningful artwork that most people overlook. Now here's something interesting. The 2012 Lincoln Shield cent was produced at multiple U.S. mint facilities. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins display a small D beneath the date area on the obverse. Both mints struck hundreds of millions of coins, making them common in circulation. Because of those large mintages, a typical circulated 2012 penny is generally worth only its face value. That might sound disappointing, but don't stop watching yet, because condition and unusual characteristics can make a dramatic difference. Collectors know that the word rare doesn't always mean low mintage. Sometimes it's about survival in exceptional condition. Think about how pennies are used every day. They're tossed into jars, dropped on sidewalks, scratched inside cash registers, and carried loose in pockets. After years of circulation, finding a perfectly preserved example becomes surprisingly difficult. That's why certified coins with strong luster, sharp details, and virtually no marks often attract much more attention than ordinary, circulated pieces. This leads to one of the biggest lessons in coin collecting. Two coins from the same year, struck at the same mint, can have dramatically different market values depending on their condition. Professional grading services evaluate coins using a detailed numerical scale. A circulated coin might remain worth 1 cent, while an exceptionally preserved, mint-state example could sell for considerably more to collectors who want the finest known examples. It isn't magic, it simply reflects supply and demand within the collecting community. But condition isn't the only thing collectors search for. Some enthusiasts carefully inspect every coin for unusual varieties or mint errors. During the minting process, tiny mistakes can occasionally occur. These might include off-center strikes, double design elements, die cracks, die chips, or other production anomalies. Most coins leave the mint exactly as intended, but those few unusual pieces often become interesting conversation starters among collectors. If you ever think you've found something unusual, it's always wise to compare it with reliable references or seek professional authentication before assuming it carries a premium value. Here's a lesser-known fact that surprises many people. The modern Lincoln cent isn't made entirely of copper. Since 1982, the standard composition has been mostly zinc with a thin copper plating. That means the familiar copper appearance hides a different metal underneath. It's one of the reasons modern cents can sometimes develop bubbles or peeling if the copper plating becomes damaged. While damaged coins generally don't command higher prices, understanding the composition helps explain Why modern pennies age differently than older copper cents. Now imagine attending a local coin show somewhere in the United States. One collector flips through albums looking for a single missing date. Another carefully studies rolls of pennies under bright lighting, hoping to spot a variety everyone else missed. Nearby, a young collector proudly shows off the first brilliant uncirculated 2012 Shield cent they found in circulation. Moments like these remind us that collecting isn't always about finding expensive coins. Often it's about the excitement of discovery, learning history, and appreciating details that most people never notice. Another reason the 2012 Lincoln Shield cent remains interesting is that it belongs to a relatively young series. Many collectors enjoy building complete sets, beginning with the 2010 introduction of the Shield Reverse. Completing a date and mint collection is an achievable goal for beginners while still offering enough challenges to keep experienced hobbyists engaged. That's part of the appeal. It's accessible without being boring. If you're wondering how to examine your own coins, start with good lighting and a simple magnifying glass. Look for sharp details, unusual marks created during minting rather than damage after circulation, and check whether your coin was struck in Philadelphia or Denver. Keep in mind that dirt, scratches, environmental damage, or cleaning almost always reduce collector interest. Ironically, one of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is trying to polish their coins. A shiny, cleaned coin often becomes less desirable than an untouched one with natural surfaces. Market demand for Lincoln cents has remained remarkably steady because Lincoln is one of the most recognized figures in American history, and the cent is still one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series. Beginners, advanced collectors, educators, and history enthusiasts all contribute to ongoing interest. While most 2012 pennies remain common, exceptional examples, certified high-grade pieces, and genuine mint errors continue to attract attention whenever they appear on the market. So what should you realistically expect if you find a 2012 Lincoln Shield cent? In most cases, a circulated example will simply be worth 1 cent. An attractive, uncirculated coin may be worth a modest premium to collectors, especially if it displays outstanding quality. Verified mint errors or exceptionally high-grade certified examples can sometimes command significantly stronger prices, but those situations are uncommon and depend on authenticity, condition, and current collector demand. That's why careful evaluation matters more than wishful thinking. And perhaps that's the most enjoyable part of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, whether it's worth 1 cent or much more. The excitement comes from asking questions, noticing details, and discovering history hiding in plain sight. The 2012 Lincoln Shield cent reminds us that even one of America's smallest coins carries symbols of unity, craftsmanship, and everyday life. Millions pass through countless hands, but only a few people ever paused long enough to truly appreciate what they were holding. The next time you receive change at a coffee shop, grocery store, or gas station, don't rush to spend every penny without looking. That ordinary coin could become the beginning of your own collecting journey. Maybe you'll discover an unusually well-preserved example. Maybe you'll learn something new about American history. Or maybe you'll simply gain a new appreciation for the coins that pass through your hands every day. If you enjoyed exploring the story behind the 2012 Lincoln Shield cent, be sure to subscribe to HF Coins World for more documentary-style journeys into the fascinating world of U.S. coins. And before you leave, take a few minutes to check the pennies sitting in your pocket, your change jar, or that old container tucked away in a drawer. You may not discover a rare treasure every time, but you'll never know what stories are waiting until you take a closer look.